Well, I'm not actually sitting here in front of a brain for no reason at all. That right there is a reminder um, for all of us, I think, that this brain is actually receiving sensations from so many different places in our body, not just our fingertips. So, not just when we're holding our bats, um, lots of sensations through those fingertips, but it goes way, way beyond that, which is why in some of our exercise routines, when we're actually exercising our big thigh muscles and doing our squats, one of the reminders is to feel the floor underneath us because our feet also have sensors. And in fact, these sensors are all over our body, not just our external motor systems, but our internal organs as well. So that information is going up there, a lot of it, and some of that information reaches our conscious awareness. And, body awareness is a really tricky issue because sometimes you just have to pay attention to what it is to have that awareness. Like, for example, I'm sitting on a chair right now, but until I tell myself to think about it, I'm not consciously aware of the feeling of the chair on the back of my legs. Well, you can use that same kind of rationale for quite a lot of very subtle sensations in our bodies. And that's sometimes why when someone says, "Hey, how you doing today?" Of course, that's a social thing. And we're going to say, "Hey, I'm all right, all's good." But it might be a nice internal reminder for ourselves to say, "Well, like, how am I doing? How do I feel today?" Give a little attention to how we actually are feeling. And there's a few earlier videos that I'd like to suggest you might go back and review. We have a warm-up video that's from months ago. And the warm-up video gives us a sequence of warm-ups that we do prior to our exercise routine. And these are evidence-based. There's reason to have them. But if you can do that sort of sequence of warm-ups and even think of how you feel, like how your thighs feel when you're doing the squat, how your core muscles feel when you're tightening your core, etc. The idea would be that maybe you could become more aware of these body sensations and even subtle differences in those sensations. Because it seems that being better and better at our body awareness might help us to detect early subtle signs of things that maybe tell us we need a rest, we need to sit down, or whatever. Maybe we're thirsty. I also had a reasonably recent video on warm up, cool down, taking breaks, and water. And I mentioned orthostatic hypotension. It's a big fancy word. We all get it once in a while when we like stand up too quickly, but that can also be affected by medications. And that's another one that to recognize the subtle symptoms, the subtle feeling of kind of having gotten up too fast. That recognition is really, really good because it allows us to know, wow, it's time for me to sit down. It's time for me to take a break. So I highly encourage in our table tennis sessions and through everyday lives to take those breaks, to try to recognize subtle symptoms and take them seriously in the sense of maybe they're telling us just to take a break and take a rest. We don't have to run to the doctor every time we have a subtle symptom, although it's a good thing to be able to monitor things as we go. And also to maybe become more aware of those subtle symptoms or even awareness of our body that's not even a symptom necessarily, just awareness of how our body feels when we're feeling good overall, what sort of things start to change a little bit when we're a bit fatigued, and to be sort of aware of that. So this is just a shout out for body awareness and its importance. Hard thing to study scientifically, but something that is probably really at the base of not only us understanding ourselves, but understanding our own needs.